Hey everybody, it's Tyler with Tyler Talks Travel Trailers out at Albuquerque RV in Albuquerque, New Mexico, where we are about to tour a factory fresh 2026 Catalina 154 RDX. And when I tell you I've been waiting for this floor plan for a while, it really has. I thought we were going to get it back in 2025, but for some weird reason, we never got this layout. And I also said that the 134 RDX was my favorite Summit Series. But after finally getting one of these layouts and finally seeing it in person, this really is the perfect small couples coach. It's super lightweight. It doesn't have a slide, so low maintenance. Just a little bit bigger than the 134 RDX, and I think it's going to accommodate people so much more, especially because of the dinette. You get a U-shaped dinette in this, and you can legitimately sleep an adult back here. So even if you have grandchildren, one child that might be coming along, or the occasional friend that wants to come fishing with you, and you don't want them sleeping with you. So it does have a big U-shaped dinette in the back, and also it being in the back gives you a lot of windows in this back area, so it really lightens up the area. You can get a nice cross breeze going. So I just think this is the perfect Summit Series Catalina makes. So like always, we're gonna do the specs first. It takes me 1 minute to do those specs, then we'll dive inside. Let's go, guys. So the basic specs on this 2026 Catalina 154 RDX. Your unloaded vehicle weight is 3,015 pounds. Your cargo carrying capacity is 1,353 pounds, which brings your potential fully loaded weight to 4,368 pounds. Your hitch weight is 368 pounds. Your exterior length is 19 feet 6 inches total. Your exterior height is 10 feet 1 inch. Your exterior width is 7 feet 6 inches. Your tanks, your freshwater tank is 44 gallons, your gray water tank is 30 gallons, and your black tank is 30 gallons. Your awning size is 11 feet. Let's jump inside. All right, guys, now that we got those specs done, we will start with the inside, work our way out. I'm gonna go through a lot of stuff with you. If you are new to the channel, welcome. I am probably the most in-depth tour guy on the YouTube. I try to give you as much info as I can, as well as give you some measurements throughout the trailer, just because I know how hard it could be to see what you're working with on video, because it can make it seem either big or small, and it's just kind of hard to tell. So hopefully you get it, all your questions answered today, but check it out. Woohoo! We finally got the 154 RDX, and it's about as great as I thought it would be. Just a perfect couples coach for two without going super big. If you're like me, I don't need anything massive. I just need something small, compact, so I can get into places that are a little more tight. But as you can see up front, you do have your queen bed. This will be an RV queen, so it's not 60 by 80. It'll be a little shorter, but the headboard up here does give you a little extra room. If you did want to put a pad, you still have that over here. I guess that would be more for like a TV. It's not really your headboard, because you do have storage down here, and it goes all the way back to over there. And this storage, this top part is going to be 12 by 53. So the storage is just a little more narrow, but 12 by 53 for that up there. I do like the placement of the TV. You know, if you're like me and my other half, we like to have the TV, like watch TV in bed. So you do have backer board right there in that area where you can hang a TV or mount a TV. We could do that for you too. A lot of times people don't want to drill into their trailers, so we always do that. But like I always say, if you're obnoxious like me, looks like you could put a big old TV right there. Just set it right on that little platform right there, and you could put a monster TV. Otherwise, you won't be able to put, I mean, you could still probably put a good sized TV right here. I should have measured it. But you do have two plugs. You got one standard plug there with the coax, or your cable satellite, and then down here you got more plugs, as well as USB and USB-C. That right plug is really nice, because you can actually use that without being plugged into shore power or a generator. So that's great for charging your phones, charging iPads, stuff like that. And it is an east-west facing bed, which I'm not mad about, because it gives you a lot more space in this living area. You can't really expect to have a north-south in a 19-foot trailer. It does get a little tighter, so I'd rather have this setup. Up above, you do have some storage all the way across. This storage area is going to be 17 by 87. It starts at 15 inches tall, and then when you get towards the middle, it's about 10 inches tall, because this front cap is rounded. So 17 by 87, 14 inches tall down to about 10 inches tall, and then it gets smaller as it slopes down. So really great storage for all of your clothes, jackets, blankets, stuff like that. You do have your one window on this side, which will be your emergency exit. And let's turn around and work our way back to the best part of this trailer. The kitchen, always my favorite. Like I said, I'm fat and I like food, so this is a pretty decent kitchen. In this size of unit, it's always a compromise. So would you rather have a massive sink and no prep space, or would you rather have, you know, a smaller sink and more prep space? In this instance, I do like having a little more prep space and counter space to, you know, cook your meals and stuff. This area right here, from the sink or from the side to the sink wall to the front, you're looking at 24 by 25, so almost a nice square area to prep your meals. You do have an okay sink size. You definitely could wash your plates, bowls, cups, things like that. This is going to be 13 by 11 and 5 inches deep. So like I said, not a farm style sink, but it does allow you to get a little more counter space. And then up above, you have some storage for bowls, plates, stuff like that. And it goes all the way to the side. This is going to be 16 by 27 and 16 inches tall. So a nice, decent size right there. You do have your paper towel holder right there, as well as another light that you could turn off individually. You do have a plug in a nice area, so if you want to bring your coffee pot, Keurig, right there where that counter space is. Down below, you got more storage for maybe pots and pans, bigger stuff like that. You got 21 by 22 and 19 inches tall for that storage area. So pretty good size. Over here to the right, you do have easy access to your plumbing, and you're looking at 15 by 23 and 14 inches to the sink up here. But there's your plumbing. I will show you that because you guys like to see that. All your cabinetry, it's actually updated quite a bit. It is, you know how when you open some cabinets and it goes boing? These are all screwed and glued together. It is not stapled. It might sound crazy, but a lot of these manufacturers out there will staple this stuff together, and over time it just starts to fall apart. So I don't see that being an issue with this cabinetry. It seems like it's very great quality, especially at the price point that these are usually at. You got a window to look out, see the view that will open so you can get a nice flow in here if you're cooking. But you do have your light fan combo that does have an exhaust to the outside. It does not just circulate it. And if you notice, all of your appliances are stainless steel, nice and sleek, all uniform, flows great. Not to mention, all of your appliances are GE. You got GE stovetop, you got GE microwave, and behind me, and the air conditioner, your fridge, all of it is going to be GE. One thing I want to point out with this stovetop is a lot of times in RVs, it'll have a step up, like this would be lifted off the counter, like pretty high. And I've heard people complain about it. You know, when you're cooking, boiling water, the last thing you want is that to slide off and fall on your foot. So it's nice and flush. You got a nice heavy duty top stove top right there. Got your fancy dancy lights. It's just a 2-top burner, which, I mean, you can't expect to have a 3-top burner. You wouldn't even be able to put 3 things on there at once anyway. So nice and flush to the countertop. You got not crazy amount of counter space. Would have been cool if they added an extension right here. That would have been nice. You can always add that later though. Up above, like I said, you do have your microwave, pretty standard. Stainless steel. So that'll be your kitchen area. Overall, I like it. Perfect for 2. Behind me, you got the 10 cubic foot, 12 volt refrigerator, massive fridge for the size of the trailer and for the price point. I think these are even bigger than the Flagstaff E-Pros, which are probably gonna be like double the price. Not only that, but it is GE, like I said, and it's got that nice metallic look to it. But I love the 12 volt fridges versus the gas electric because they cool incredibly fast. Like I'm talking in 10, 15 minutes, these things are already getting cold. You got a nice little area to put your cold snacks, the beer, the soda, whatever your drink of choice is. But this will be 12 volt. Gas electric, you tend to have to put them on the night before you go on your trip. This one, just hit the road. You'll be cold by the time you get to the campground. You do have just some brackets and stuff, but a nice deep freezer. I can barely reach the back. definitely over 18 inches deep, probably like in the 21. But then you do have this little latch right here, so that way you don't have to worry about it opening when you're going down the road. This does have a 13.5 BTU air conditioner, and again, it is GE. But the great thing about this particular AC is it has a heat pump in it. So this is definitely going to come in handy. It'll go work down to 25 degrees. So if you wanted to run your heater just to cut the chill in the air conditioner and you're at a campground, you can conserve your propane by using this, and it'll, you know, put out some good heat. Saves you up to 39% more propane usage. But when you're out looking at trailers, please just make sure it has a gas furnace. I always get bummed out when people buy a trailer and the sales guy never tells them that, hey, it just has an electric heater. That's not going to be fun. That means you're going to have to get a generator just to run your heater. That is not good. This is going to be your gas furnace right here. I believe a 20,000 BTU furnace, 20 or 24,000. It is plenty for this size. This thing will definitely make this, it gets hot. Like, you will have to turn it off. You won't be able to keep this running, you know, all night long. It gets toasty. So make sure it always has the gas furnace, and these will have both options. You got your gas and electric furnace. So nice appliances right there. But obviously the main thing about this unit that I love is this nice big U-shaped dinette for multiple reasons. For one, you know, it's just a nice sitting area where you get nice big windows that go all the way around that you can look out. Hopefully have a better view than that. But you can open all of these windows and get a nice cross breeze going here. But the other reason I like it is because it will turn into a bed. But let's talk about this tabletop first. Nice big table. This is going to be 21.5 by 38. So 21.5 by 38 for that table. So if you have guests, maybe you're out camping with some friends, the weather gets bad, you come all pile in here, get around the table, play some board games, things like that. So I love the U-shaped dinette for the windows, for the size of table, and for the sleeping. So this is a good size. You're looking at 37 by 81 for the bed. 37 by 81. So I would imagine you can sleep most adults. 31 or 37 by 81. I'm sorry, 37 by 81 when you turn that into a bed. So if you have a grandchild that may come occasionally, or like I said, if you and your fishing buddy are going to go out and you don't want to be sleeping in the same bed, you got this. Plop this down to these little tabs right here. Take out the poles and then use the cushions on the outer side. Put it on top of this, and then you have a nice big bed area. And what I love about it is it's on opposite sides of the trailer, so it's not like you're sleeping right next to each other. You could even buy yourself a curtain or something to have a little privacy when you do have guests and stuff. Just a really nice setup. I love this. And if you notice, you do have some area on the sides. It doesn't feel super cramped, like it's not hard to get into the dinette. So both sides will have the same amount of room. This area right here is going to be 15 by 24. So 15 by 24, you can even store stuff right here, but it just makes it a lot easier to get in and out of the dinette by having that little space. One side does have like kind of a little, like a table, like something to put stuff on. 6 by 39. So all of this back here is 6 by 39, and look they give you a plug right there. So if you're just kicking back, hanging out, check it out. Put your whatever you're charging right here at the plug, and it's just a really nice setup with the U-shape in the back. And you even have another plug over there. So if someone's sitting over there, they can, you know, plug in their laptop, tablet, whatever they want, as well as charge their phones. I did do a lot of measurements that we're going to go through. Up above, you do have kind of like some more shelves up here, and it wraps all the way across to the other side. So you could put a lot of stuff up here. Pretty decent. You're looking at 8 by 50 and 10 inches tall. So 10 inches from this to the roof, 8 by 50, 10 inches tall on both sides. And then that back side is a little bit deeper. You're looking at 12 by 87, and of course 10 inches tall, 12 by 87 for that up there. So basically wall-to-wall storage wrapped around this U-shaped dinette area that you can utilize. You know, if you have the occasional guest, they could store their clothes up there or whatever you feel like you want to store up there. You do have lights that do turn off individually right here, and this has a, you know, your accordion shade, and then your other ones are more like your standard blades. But I love it. Really nice. I did not check this. Let's see. I'm curious if it has storage underneath this U-shaped dinette. That would be awesome. Yeah. Look at that. All of that storage down there, and I forgot to measure it. Dang it. But you got storage all around it. I'm not 100% sure on the back side, but we will check real quick. Oh yeah, that's awesome. So you got storage wrapped around the entire dinette. That's going to come in handy. So like, let's say you're going to you're going to be going through Arizona where you need some warm clothes, and then you're going through Colorado and you need some winter clothes. That's going to be amazing to put the extra blankets, the jackets, you know, all those extra clothes that you may need, but you could just throw them under there since you're not using it, you know, every day. Your interior height in this unit, I'm talking from the roof to the floor, you are looking at 6 feet 6 inches to the roof. So if you are 6'7", this does hang down just a little bit, might bonk your head, but 6 feet 6 inches of interior height. And then talking about the space, because like I said, this does not have a slide out. So I kind of want to give you an idea of the room you're working with here. When you first walk in, right here, you got 27 inches from this cabinet to the wall, 27 inches, and then it kind of comes in right here where the fridge is, and then you have 36 inches from the stove to the fridge. So if someone's cooking right here, I like that they gave you a little more room to get by without just like messing up their cooking, messing up what they're trying to do. So you got 35 inches from the stove to the fridge. Yeah, what an awesome layout. Let's go into the bathroom real quick. We got some even better appliances in this that I'll tell you about when we walk out of the bathroom. But this will be your bathroom, and it is not a wet bath, surprisingly, in this size unit. A lot of times they do wet baths. Obviously, it doesn't have a sink for multiple reasons. One, people that are usually looking at this size, they're kind of weight conscious with their tow vehicle. So by not adding the sink, it does help with the weight. Obviously, cost. Obviously that too. But also the size. It would just be really hard to put a sink. So there is a little step up, and I just want to tell you, because I do have folks that are, you know, could be a little difficult, but it's not super big. It's 8 inches. So you got an 8-inch step up right here to the toilet, and a little bit higher for the pan. So 8-inch step up. First thing I always tell you guys to do when you're out looking at RVs and travel trailers, definitely go in, shut the door, sit on the toilet, make sure you're comfy, because you do not want to have an uncomfortable commode. So from the door, or from the toilet to the door, you're looking at 14 inches of knee room. So not bad. I feel like most people will be comfortable. And then I'll turn you around. Luckily, it does not have like an enclosure for the shower. You got a curtain, because now look. You got the wiping room. Probably pretty important. If you're right-handed. If you're left-handed, it might be a little more hard. So right-handed, you're good. But overall, don't expect too much in this bathroom because of the size of the unit. Now talking about the shower, pretty standard shower right here. If you look at the specs online, my measurements are going to be a little more accurate because they're measuring from wall to wall. I'm measuring what you can actually stand in. The shower pan itself is 21 by 30. And then in the interior height, I'll stand in here just so you get an idea of the size. I am 5'7", about 156 pounds. You know, not terrible, but I'm not the tallest guy. Shower head is at a decent height. Like I said, 5'7". It's actually above my head. So that's not bad. You could take it off. It is like a little wand. Try to turn you slow so I don't make you sick. But the interior height from the shower pan to the screen on this vent is going to be 6 feet 2 inches. So if you're 6'3", you're going to be looking out while you're showering. I feel like most people are going to be comfortable in this. But if you are taller, it is 6 feet 2 inches from the shower pan to the actual screen right there. Like I said, it doesn't have the sink. You do have a plug in here though, if you want to, you know, bring your straightener, hair dryer, things like that along. This is not a medicine cabinet, it's just a mirror. So got your mirror there and one hook for the towel. Definitely want to probably add a second one of those. But that is your bathroom. But let me tell you one thing that this does have in the 2026 models. Oh, there's your other hook right there. The 26 models are coming with a really nice upgraded feature, and check it out. It's got a tankless water heater, baby. Look at that. How cool is that? And it's GE. I love that all of their appliances are GE. It's nice and streamlined. If you ever have any warranty claims or anything like that, you know, the dealership isn't going to be having to shuffle through a bunch of different brands. It's all GE. Like I said, nice and streamlined. But what's cool about this that Catalina thought, I'm very happy, because tankless water heaters tend to have issues at high altitude, and we are at high altitude. So, you know, what are you going to do when it has a tankless water heater? Look at that. Altitude adjustment capability works up to 10,100 feet. That is incredible. I doubt most people would go above 10,100 feet dragging this up the mountain. So you are going to be perfectly fine with this water heater because it actually has an altitude adjustment right there, an advanced freeze protection, heavy duty door design. We'll show you that when we go out there. But huge tankless water heater. Take as long of a shower as you want, as long as you got the water. I know I love that. I take really long showers, so that would be awesome to me. But overall, we will go outside. I'm going to show you the control panel real quick. I'll do one little turnaround. But man, I love this. I promise you, when I'm saying I would want this layout, I would pick this one over the 134 RDX, just because it's a little bigger, and I love that U-shaped dinette. I did forget that this is a really nice feature that they gave you. You see this little switch right here? How awesome is this? Bam! You could shut it off when you're not using it, or, you know, when you're going down the road, the camping trip's over, you actually have a switch to turn off the refrigerator. Not every company does that, even on the higher end companies. So that's nice that they give you that. Over here will be your control panel. You do have JBL speakers inside and out, and these things sound very good. So if you want to pick different zones, inside and out, then you have your interior lights, exterior lights, water pump. So all you do is flip a switch, it does its thing. But did you notice when I did this? How annoying would it be if you had to have all your lights on the whole time? Wouldn't that be kind of annoying? Well, I love that they did this at this price point. You can actually turn these off individually. I know it sounds like not a big deal, but I promise you, when you're actually out using the trailer and you know, it's the end of the day and you just kind of want to kick back and you don't want that blinding light, all of them on, some companies don't let you do that. You can't turn them off individually. So love that they did that. And then you do have your readings up here for your fresh, or your battery, fresh, black, and gray. So you got your readings right there. But let's go outside and stick with me, because they construct these pretty well. They do a lot of things that I'm not even gonna be able to discuss because the video would get too long. So definitely check out some of my other videos, because I try to pepper in different stuff in every video. It does have the screen. Talking about videos, if you are new to the channel, I have started something very cool each week. I go live, and it's been turning out pretty awesome. So you could come onto my live every Sunday at 3 p.m. Mountain Standard Time, and you can ask me any questions you want about RVs. You can even tell me what you're looking for, and I'll tour the whole dealership with you and show you different options. So definitely get on this coming Sunday and check out my live. If you're new to the RV world, I know a lot of information, it can be hard to find it. So check out my lives. The only way I'll miss it is if I have a customer, because I'm a full-time salesperson. I'm not just a YouTuber. So if I get a customer in, then I'll have to, you know, run away for that. But this is the front. The only thing I would change on this is this crank. I would probably switch it out for an electric one. That way it makes it a little easier. You do have a 20-pound tank, and this is where you'll put your batteries, and it does have the battery disconnect right there. So that is awesome when you're ready to shut this off. We are going to talk about the frame construction once we go all the way around. Down below, you got your magnets that just stick, bam. And look at all of this storage. Tons of storage. So this storage area is going to be 46 by 86 and a half and 14 inches tall. The one thing is it does not have a door on the other side. I know it would make it a lot easier. What I had a customer do is they actually put a hinge underneath the bed and a little hole, and he just lifted it up from underneath inside. So you can make like a little storage door inside to access this stuff a little easier. Pretty simple. I thought that was a great idea. 46 by 86 and a half, 14 inches tall, but obviously the doorway is a little smaller. So just to give you an idea of what you can actually put through this door, and I'm talking from this right here, you're looking at 11 and a half by 25 for that doorway. Otherwise you'll have to like angle stuff in. You got the solid steps that touch the floor, so you don't have to worry about your steps sagging on you, and you can adjust each leg if you're on uneven surface. These are a lot better than the ones that hang. Those tend to sag. They just fold right into the doorway. It's got the cool glass door, but it tricks you. You cannot see out of it. It's just purely aesthetic, but you can't see out of that top one. Like I said, you got an 11-foot awning with the LED lights. I think they changed like 25 different colors. So you can also tilt this. So if the sun is at a weird angle, you could tilt this down, or if you just want the rain to kind of flow off and not pool in the middle of the awning, you can do that. Like I said, outdoor speakers, you got your leash link for the dog. Big point, the windows are all tinted. Keep an eye out for that. That is a small thing that a lot of people miss, is the windows aren't tinted. You have absolutely no privacy, which means you always have to have your shades closed. How annoying would that be when you're camping? So make sure your windows are tinted on your RV in the future. It is prepped for the ladder. I know, boo, but the ladder is awesome if you get it. It telescopes, it's lightweight, but this is a fully walk-on roof. This is huge. You want to get up there and check your roof every so often. Some of these companies, they don't want you getting on the roof. This is a fully walk-on roof with the camera prep. You got your 30 amp plug and your tankless water heater, city water, and very impressive 44-gallon potable tank. So 44 gallons is a lot for this size of unit. That's when you're dry camping. The city water is when you're at like a KOA or campground and have hookups. Like I said, no slide out. I do like the placement of the drains being in the front of the wheel. So when you go downhill, you come up and you're going up another hill, that's when you tend to drag your back end, and that's when you tear off your plumbing. So it being in the front is pretty nice. I like it in front of the wheel. That's great. Black and gray tank right there. Now let me talk to you about one of the best construction aspects of this trailer because of the price point. So as you can see, the way that they make these frames usually is they'll weld it together. RVs, it's notorious for RVs to start getting rust, even when they're brand new. I'm talking when you go look at them at the dealership. Sometimes you'll see units and it's already getting rusted at the welds. This company, Catalina, they use a bow frame by Norco. So what that is they actually put this frame together with huck bolts. So it's going to virtually get rid of all the rusting that you could have because it gets rid of the welds. And also huck bolts are 5 times stronger than your standard weld. So this will have a huck bolt frame, a bow frame by Norco. Very great construction, top to bottom with this price point. Whew. Oh man. All right. What do you guys think? It's awesome, huh? That is a very nice layout. Like I said, I love this one a lot more than the 134 RDX, but if this one is just a little too heavy, definitely check out the 134 RDX. I did a video on that recently, so I'll put it at the end of one of these videos so you can check that one out. It's a little smaller, but I love that floor plan too. It is also a Summit Series. If you're new to the channel, hit that subscribe button, baby. We are on our way to 6,000 subscribers in less than a year of starting this channel. I am just blown away. I appreciate all your guys' support. If you're wondering where I'm located at Albuquerque RV in Albuquerque, New Mexico. Our phone number will be down below in the description. So if you call in, please just ask for Tyler for 2 reasons. First reason is because we're on a rotating list. So if you don't ask for me, you could end up with another sales guy, which isn't terrible because we're all pretty knowledgeable here, but I want to help you because I put a lot of work into all these videos. And the second reason is because I am not a full-time YouTuber. I am in sales full-time. So you can imagine how busy I get. So if you call in or put a lead in on our website at albuquerquerv.com, just say, hey, I want to talk to the annoying kid on YouTube, and I'll help you guys out. I'm happy to answer any questions. Even if you just call in and say, hey, your video is awesome. I love that. It's so incredible. I've been getting calls from Virginia, North Carolina. I had someone message me from Ontario, Canada. How sweet is that? So I'm just really impressed with the reach these are having. Yeah, definitely hit that subscribe button. I appreciate you guys, and I hope you like this tour. Let me know if you have any questions down below. Also, let me know where you're from. I love hearing that. And yeah, you guys have a good evening, good afternoon, good night, whenever you're watching this, and I'll see you guys tomorrow. Thanks, guys.